this might have been the ball the Aussies used in the first innings because...
No, that's in Mitch's ball cabinet.
Well, can you just check it? Marnus said it wasn't weighted right.
Oh, dear God.
He took 7 for with a dud ball.
Yeah, actually, he was saying it was kind of a little out of shape. Well, it didn't swing, so there must have been something wrong with it.
Well, can you just check? Because Adam asked me after play, like...
Oh, would you like me to bring it in next week? I'll bring it in. We can have a look at it.
We don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
But
bring it in.
Marnus said...
I've already turned it into a bottle opener anyway. So
After yesterday. I was going to ask. Here it is.
Yeah. Mitch brought his balls home and we're having a barbecue.
Brought his balls home.
Sorry.
Good for Mitch.
Brad, let that one go. He brought him home before he put him in the cabinet. He was cracking beers with it.
He was away for 10 days.
Jesus Christ, I've never seen
He was gone for 4.
sundries like this before in my life.
Willow Talk after dark.
Oh, far out.
Anyway.
Where were we?
Here I am
Move on.
playing with some balls. Yep.
No, but there is an art form too. Isn't there? There is an art form for...
I'm going purely because I used to love watching him bat. The stats aren't there for him in this, but I'm going pure Hughes.
Yep.
I mean, I love watching Hughesy bat. I mean, I batted 3 for New South Wales a long time, and Hughesy was opening the batting. Hughesy and Jakesy and I come in at 3 pretty much. So I thought when I used to watch him bat, I'm like, this guy's just like so flair. Like guys bowling middle stump, he'd be slashing, cutting him. It was just when he was going, you just could not bowl to him. It was and he just scores so quick. And his demeanour, the nature of his like he was special. I think we obviously didn't get to see the best of him because obviously when he was probably going to come back into the Australian team, he was. The thing with Hughesy was when he was younger, he had the cut shot, he had the cover drive, he had everything. He didn't have a pull. He really struggled accessing that side. And just before he passed away, that season, he was pulling like, oh man, I was like, wow, you can't bowl to him anywhere now because even if you bowl short to him, he just pulls you. If you bowl wide to him, he cuts you. If you bowl it's just so. Where are you going to bowl to him? Like you might get him out here and there, like caught third slip, second slip because he goes hard here and there. But I'm like most times he's just going to annihilate you. So. It's sad we didn't get to see the best of him, but I'm putting him in that team because I think he would have been an absolute genius. I think he would have been a great.
So this team has got off to a really quick start. We're talking none for 100 off 12 overs here to set the platform. Who's coming in at 3 to reap the benefits?
Let me just have a look here quickly.
Because I've got your next 3 in my mind as I pretty much think that it's a lock.
Yeah, I just got to figure out which way... Oh, wait, I don't know why I'm even thinking about this. I can't see his name here, but I'm just going to put him in anyway. Ponting?
Yes.
I don't have to look at that.
Many tests with him? Right at the start?
I had debuted because he hurt his pinky, so I didn't play my debut with him. That was Michael Clark's first test match as captain.
Yep.
And then I played a couple of games with him in Sri Lanka, then a couple back home, and one in South Africa. We put on a really good partnership. It was a game we chased up 300 and something. Paddy's first game. Mm-hmm. We put on about 150, I reckon, or 140, and we ended up chasing 300 and winning that game. That was pretty special. I got to bat with punter, chasing innings on. I cannot tell you how good that felt. I was like, you grew up watching this guy, and I'm like, I was so pumped. I remember Morne Morkel bumped me, and I pulled him for 6, and I was like, and I was batting the other, and punter got bumped, and he pulled him, and I was like, oh. Like, I'm pulling bowlers with Ricky Ponting. Like, how good's this?
And it's not a video game.
It's not a video game. I remember I genuinely remember thinking, I'm getting emotional. My eyes are getting a bit watery because I was like, this is one of the greatest days of my life. Like, I'm actually batting with Ricky Ponting in a test match and we're chasing up a total here and we're smacking and we're going really well. And I was just so excited for that feeling. And it was one of those moments that I still pinch myself about. And yeah, punter, I mean, the best thing about punter was not the fact that we all looked up to him. It was how he treated me when I came in the Australian cricket team. He went out of his way to make me feel at home. I always see his punter as this like real staunch, serious guy on TV. And I remember I was running my first one and punter smacked into me and I was like, who's that? And I was like, it was punter. I was like, is punter joking? Is he mucking around with me? I was like, oh, how good's this? You know what I mean? And then he took me out to dinner, like I think it was that night, the next night, and Huss was with us, and we all went to the dinner at South Bank, and I was like, he actually went out of his way to, and he didn't have to. Like, he played 140 games at this point, and I was debuting, and that kind of stuff really just just stood me. So after that, I was if you didn't already like punter before, then it was solidified after that. So
how good.
Ricky Ponting 3 and 4, not a very hard one for me either. 1 S Smith.
Yep. New York's finest.
New York's finest.
Sids, on this rundown, we've got the printed notes which are typed, and then last minute something's been added here, written in. I don't know who wrote it, but it says, asterisk, ask about Had's Bar.
That's Leeds.
It's definitely going to be Leeds, that.
That's definitely Leeds.
So you can take this wherever you want, because I don't know this story.
I don't know.
That's a great test win.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That was my first Ashes fifer, so it was a pretty good afternoon in the early hours. In the late hours, it probably it eventuated a little bit too much celebrating, and man, we had a late night out and got a few potato cakes at some little cafe on the walk home, and
I tell you
we might have got heckled in the street, and then and then we went home to bed.
All I can remember is there was 2 levels of the walkabout.
Yeah.
And Sid came to me and said, "We've got to go upstairs." I said, "There's no one there." And he said, "No, the owner has asked us to get behind the bar, and everyone inside 30 seconds was up the top, and we were serving responsible alcohol."
You've done your RSA, obviously.
I think we stage dived.
We went up there, the owner offered us upstairs, and we said, "Oh, yep, no worries." So we get upstairs, and then I said, I look around, and the owner's walking back downstairs. I said, "Excuse me, mate." I said, "Who's going to serve us?" And he's like, "Just look after yourselves." So, so Hads and I, like you did, it was. We were over that bar quick smart and put our service skills to good use. But it turned into a pretty late night and an early morning, and Hads and I maybe wrestling in the lift and waking everyone up on the way home. So we got a little slap on the wrist the next day. I think we woke up a few unhappy guests in the hotel, but
the captain.
The captain wasn't happy. Yeah.
Should have been out.
He wasn't happy, man.
Yeah, he was out, but
he was. He was just home in bed by the time we got back.
Yeah.
Sids, when you've finished your silly campaign of still trying to play white ball, red ball, cricket, pink ball, whatever it is, I think you should send your CV to higher management, because some of the stories that you've got locked away in your head have got Triple M all over it. Mm-hmm. And we need to get them out.
We do. I think, once I've done playing, I'm definitely a few more opportunities to have a little laugh. Especially if I'm sitting next to you, Had.
Whoa.
Well, you encouraged
We'll save that for a later date.
Yeah.
I feel like we only got 5%. There was more.
You didn't get that much.
There was more alcohol in the volume of the beers you were drinking that night in Leeds than the ability for us to extract the actual truth of that night.
I'll tell you one funny one, and I'll only half get into it. Is we finished a test match. I went to, I think it was Haydos's last, and we had the slushy machine in there. You had kids running around. The kids loved playing with Sids.
Yeah.
And the kids were running over to the slushy machine, and Sids took off mid-conversation. We all thought, "You flipping rude prick, what are you doing?" He said, "Kids, you can't drink the slushy." Everyone's looking at the kids going, "Sids, they can drink the slushy." He goes, "There's 2 bottles of Belvedere in that." My kids have never slept better.
Yeah. You're a good man.
The kids had a great sleep.
Number 3. First drop.
Ponting, easy.
Picks himself, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yep, 100%. Say no more. Unbelievable brain, cricket brain. Tell you one thing, I haven't put a little captain sign there.
You haven't?
No.
Not yet?
No.
You got a little twist for us?
No, I just thought about it then. I was like, shit.
No. I'll get to it at the end.
Okay.
Well, 2 important things at the end. It's captain, but more importantly for Willow Talk is the 12th man, but we'll get to that. But Ponting 3,
yep.
I mean, you came in at the end of his career. What kind of, not initiation, but integration did he help you with?
Punter was incredible. And you talk to Punter, and he claims he's the reason why I actually got picked the first up, that I bowled to him for an hour before my first test match, before knowing that I was actually playing, and he was incredible with passing on his knowledge about playing spin, what he found difficult, where I could improve, what were my strengths at that stage. But he gave me so much confidence in going out there and doing my skill set. So, but like tactically, and trying to pick up flaws in batter's technique, his brain was incredible.
So what he was telling you things that, I mean, I'm sure you knew what you were doing even at that stage.
No idea.
Oh, you had no idea?
No.
But he would tell you things that, wow, mate, you're doing this really well, or how about you just change this, it'll make it more difficult for me.
Yeah. He always spoke about what he found really hard against Hubbajan. And just about, I don't know, for starting the eye line, drifted away, open up the hands type of stuff. And like stuff that I was 4 Shield games into my first class career, still trying to nail down a consistent action to get the consistent revs on the ball. And yes, I thought about trying to bowl through the gate, and that probably didn't really understand how to actually go about it. And it wasn't until that conversation with Punter and Huss that I was going, shit, yeah, okay, this is a different level.
Yeah, they're the things that we don't see or hear about too often, but we just see the players out there. What about 4? Second drop?
Smithy. Smithy's at 4. Arguably the best problem solver I've ever played cricket with. Been very fortunate enough to spend 99% of my career, or his career, together. I've had the best seat, to be honest. Been lucky enough to be out in the middle when he's been able to reach hundreds, but obviously seen a lot of runs, so it's been pretty cool.
In terms of problem solver, so cricket only, or is he a problem solver through life? Like he's good at trivia nights, Sudoku and things like that?
No, well, you can't work out singing and playing the guitar, so...
He's trying, is he?
He was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Horrible.
No good?
No.
Could you hear
I can't sing, I can't play guitar, so good on him, but ears bleeding stuff.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. What, did he bring it out in the team room, did he? Or
On
was
the
it
bus,
you could hear
on
him
the bus in England.
On the bus?
Yeah, sat across from me. It's like, yeah. Anyway, let's move on. I like Smithy.
He's a good cricketer.
Yeah.
He's a very good cricketer. He's better than good cricketer. I mean, for a guy that came in where he did on the batting order when he started his Test career, and what people thought his skill set was, bowling all-rounder, it's pretty incredible how it's turned out.
Probably the best spell of bowling that I ever faced with Mike Hussey and Broady. I don't know where you sit on this. Was Broad and Anderson the morning at the Gabba? The scoreboard didn't move. We didn't lose a wicket, and I remember coming off at the break and going, I don't know what else I can do here. I'm exhausted. We've got to find a way to score. We've got to go after someone else. But that was the best high-quality bowling that I've ever faced in my career.
I remember it because we walked off maybe at lunch, having not got a wicket, and a pretty crucial morning of a Test match. And both Jimmy and I just sat down and was like, have we not got a wicket there? Like, it felt, it was nipping. I think there was a little bit of swing. It was bouncing. When I look back now, probably should have been a bit fuller, but it was one of those spells where we actually felt like we could, that's all we could have done. We tried absolutely everything with holding patience, and we made no breakthrough. And I think actually, I can't remember how the scoreboard ended up, but I think Hussey and Haddon both got hundreds, and we just walk off like, what can we do differently? How have we got to this stage? And I think it was a tea break where we came sort of bouncing out the changing room to music, and just we'd like, got to that stage where you've been in the field so long you've gone a little bit crazy. And it was Finney who had sort of said, Haddon's having a right fly at me here. He's calling me rubbish and everything. And our senior players at the time, so KP, who else would have been, Collie, said, I'm not having that, let's fire back. And I remember walking, you sort of cramped in at the Gabba waiting to go out through the tunnel, and there's a bit of ding-donging going on. And then we walk all the way to the middle, there's just verbals flying around. And just for clarity, because I did get a little bit of abuse for this, I wasn't one of the ones flying verbally at Hads. I don't think we ever had a crossword, did we? You were actually quite nice to me. I was always a little bit nervous that you were going to back away and slice me over third man, so I was always trying to be quite polite to you. But that revved up that series, because that was one of the first times I'd seen an England team under the, like, way behind the scoreboard, but still front up to Australia.
Yep, I did that.
Yeah, do
I
you
can
know
remember
what?
that moment.
Yeah, go on. Tell this one first, because also I don't think I've ever heard anyone abuse Stokes as much as you did on his debut.
Yeah, he got fined for that too. That was planned too. I'll go back to that one. I remember in that occasion, players play with each other all over the world now in franchise cricket. I actually played with Finney at Islamabad in the Pakistan League, and you get to know a lot more than you normally would. And one of the things in planning for an Ashes campaign, you say, well, that you're going to have moments with Broad and Anderson, but we've got to get them coming back for their third and fourth spell earlier. So we're going to have to take a risk to Swan. We might have to take the third bowler on to bring these guys back earlier. And I remember Finn just bowling and sort of walking back. He sort of looked at me and scratched his mark. He didn't say a word. And I said, "No, I'm going at you. I'm going to see if I can blow this game up a bit and see what the reaction you'll get out of everyone." So I sort of went at him, and he was shocked. He thought, well, hang on a minute. And knowing his personality and that he bowled with good pace, actually, I thought, wonder if this will throw him off. And going back to coming out for that tea break, I remember saying to Huss, I said, "Oh, Huss, just stand behind me a bit here." I said, "I think this is about to kick off." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Oh, just stay back up. I think this will get the game going." Anyway.
Poor Huss, Hads.
Oh, mate, I couldn't have.
Of all the people.
I left Huss. I told Huss just to stay back. I said, "Mate, don't you get." I said, "Just go to the end." I said, "This is going to be interesting." And I could see Collie beelining for me straight away. I had a smirk on my face, and he went at me, and I said, "I'm surprised this took you so long, actually." But what I was actually trying to do, I was trying to get a reaction out of everyone. To get the game to move, try to get Jimmy and Broady to maybe try to knock my head off, get away from that length. So there was method in my madness.
And talk me through Stokesy, because I was at mid-on when you were having a go at Stokesy. And I think, did Stokesy get you out on a no ball? And that's when it all started.
Yeah, well, how it started is our assistant coach had played at Durham, Michael Divanuno. I don't know if you remember Diva. Mm. And we got talking that test match that they thought Ben Stokes was about to play. And Diva was very complimentary of his skills and what he could do. And then he said, if you find a moment to poke the bear a bit, just go at him. Because he is a hothead. And I was on 50 and he nicked me off. And as I was walking halfway off, the crowd started to cheer. And I thought, that's not normal. And I've looked up and seen on the scoreboard that he'd stepped over the mark. And as I walked back in, obviously the senior bowling group and everyone, they've gone back to their position. I walked past him and I just congratulated Stokes on his first test wicket. And then it kicked off. I remember Clark, but he said, "Oh, this is about to go." I said, "Yep." I said, "It's about to get real fun here." And then the game kicked off, and he said something, and mate, in my nature, I was going straight back at him. And I don't know what the line is, something about being tough. And I remember saying to him, I think Anderson and Broad are the tough ones. Mate, they've played 80 tests and 60. I said, "You're in your first test, mate. Leave me alone." And when everyone turned his back, I said to the umpire, I said, "Mate, this young kid's not respecting the game here." I said, "He's got a lot to say." He goes, "Oh, I agree, Hads. I don't know what's going on." I think he got fined, actually. I didn't get anything. Do you remember that?
Ringing you?
Yeah.
Say that I'm out?
Yeah. And your words were, I was actually happened to be right next to my dad at the SCG. And Gilly rings. I thought, oh, that's odd. Hello, he said, "Mate, your life's about to change. I'm about to retire." And I remember thinking, oh, congratulations, and thinking, shit. And I said to my dad, put it down, and he said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Oh, Gilly's retired." He said, "Oh, that's a good thing, is it?" I said, "I don't know. I don't know what's about to happen." But it was a bit the man.
Yeah, I made my decision.
End of the test. You made the decision.
Yeah, I announced it. I announced. I, in my mind, made the decision on day one of the test match in Adelaide when I dropped VVS Flaxman. It's been sort of well documented, or I've spoken about that. But so that night after Stumps day one back in the hotels, when I rang Mel, who was back in Perth. So that's how unplanned the whole thing was. No family or anyone were at the test match. So I rang her and said, "Look, I'm done." And she went, "Yep, cool." And then scurried over to Adelaide. Then let punter and the team know the next morning, but didn't announce it publicly until day 3.
Yep.
Stumps day 3. But my recollection is I rang Hads the morning of day 3 before I announced publicly. And that stemmed from, you mentioned Phil Emery.
Yeah.
I mean, I was understudy to him. That's why I moved from New South Wales to WA. That's why I moved clubs at Gordon Cricket Club to get away from him, to go to Northern Districts. And then
Don't worry, I'll push him out at the end.
You saw him out. Thank you. He was like an Alabama tick. I couldn't get him out of the team. But, I tried. But he did, when I moved to WA, he did say, and I hope anyone listening or watching understands our love and respect for Phil Emery. He taught us so much, and he's a great mate. He said to me, okay, go, but when I finish at New South Wales, I'll let you know. Whoever knows where we're going to be or where I'm going to be, but if you want to come back, there might be an option if you want to. And he held true to that. He rang me to say, and by that stage I was fully entrenched in WA, and that's where I'd settled. But I always remember thinking, I want to make sure that when I finish in the Australian team, to let Hads know as well, not necessarily before anyone else, but before it really went public. But just to pass that on, and it was.
What was it like for you, Hads, though, knowing for those 10 hours or so that day when you're at the SCG with the old man, that you know that unless the selectors have a completely different view of what you had and what everyone else had, that you're going to be an Australian Test player?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, you had to keep it to yourself. You couldn't, as Gilly's time, but I'll go back a couple of steps. I had to take Gilly out of the equation because I didn't actually think I'd ever get the opportunity to play for Australia. If I thought about, is Adam going to retire here? Do you think he'll go on for 2 or 3 years? And everyone's sort of saying that to you in the background. Do you think Gilly retire this year? But I was 30. So I had to make peace with myself that, you know what, I've got to be the best version of myself I can. And I know it sounds corny, but I had to put all my effort into being the best state cricketer I could be and take everyone else out of the equation. If I kept thinking about what was happening at the Australian team, I would have been rocking backwards and forwards in a corner, because the reality of, if you had probably went 18 more months, I reckon Painey would have played. And that's the right decision as well, it would have been at the time. So I had to take all that out of the equation, make sure I prepared the best I could, and if the opportunity did come, I was the obvious second choice. I wasn't worried about going on A tours or things like that. I was worried about dominating in my position, so if the call did come, Adam's done, you just walk straight in. If there was debate about someone to go in at my age, I wouldn't have got the nod.
I was very mindful of that too. I mean, as I say, I didn't plan to retire going into that Test match, but there was something when I dropped that catch. There was something that triggered in me that I realised it was time. I was cutting training a bit shorter, not because I hated it, because I had other interests. I had family, I had commercial opportunity that I was, I got that appearance or something. But also too, you're right. I reckon if I wanted to, I feel like I probably could have stretched it another 18 months maybe. I don't regret it for 1 minute. But I wasn't completely gone.
Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.